very well at the beginning.
Then da Xing ge wang zi jeba yin then da shungi sungjup jegen di mi re re ni ma de yo mare de zo nakhen la drop ge yo mare langa chigla de ne sung de yo then gong zo zhong se ba ge chen la xing gu ma jan ne ke do ne xing ja dang zam de ge.
So even though the government put some people who are supposed to protect the forest, but somehow they just stay in one place, and in the night the villagers just go in the forest and they took all the woods and trees.
Then jema da shungi siju gare dang bare de na then the ming di jur ne naksel chat mang chaw da Trongdel naksel se ne ming ta Trongdel gi naksel se ne ming ta then the sacha so la siju jin pen na usro ke area ga de yo ba di nang ge sa sing dang de chasang usro de gi misela ba siju je di nang jen so ga de gi da sacha area ga de yo ba chasang di misela ba siju je de jin ne siju jaman.
Then after that, the government changed their policy and they call it the forest of city or something like that. And they actually gave the responsibility to all people who live that city or that village. For example, the forests that are near to Woodstock, they say it's the forest of this Woodstock, and they give the responsibility of protecting them to all people who live in Woodstock. And it's the same way, if there's some forest close by Socrates, then they call the forest woods of Socrates, and they gave the responsibility of protecting them to the people of Socrates in that way.
Then da dongse la zi the za de dongse na mi mong mo re wa then chi gi ha ma na chi gi ha go re chi gi ma thong na chi gi thong ge re then da sing ku su ji ku ma pho bu cha pho go yo ma re.
Therefore, now everyone who lives that city or town or village, what you call, has a responsibility, and then nobody dare to take any woods, because even if you are taking a wood from village, somebody might see you. Then in this way, then nobody was there to take any woods anymore.
Then sing the zhongse korang la then wang che che dang zhe da ne then nga zo du gi lu zu la da mang che sing gi thap me dang ro wa then de lo re re la gong ba re re la sing za wa sum shi den de de da gong ba che chung la ba be ge sing za wa sum re shi de den de zhe ge re la me sing re me dang ya chi la gong ba cha dang la zhe ge lo mi mang cha dang re mi mang gong ba chi ge se na pe ma le chi ge
But somehow in Bhutan, still they are using woods fire for cooking and also heating. Therefore, at least they need some woods to make fire at home. Therefore, according to the size of your family, if you have more family members, then you have more permission to get little more woods. If you have only few family members, then you have less. You have permission to get little less woods, and that's how the government arranged.
Then mi thang re la lo chong tham la khang ba so je ja ye che du la da lo chong tham la so ko na then de la yang ba be ge sing da wa nga re du re te ge re kong ba re tong bo re.
And then again, also they need lots of woods to renovate or to build their home or house. Therefore, each family has in every 15 years they have permission to get some woods to renovate their house if it is necessary. Again, it depends on how big your house is. If you have many family members and if you need a big house, then you have permission to get more trees from government. If you have just little house, then you get permission to get the little trees, only few trees to renovate your house every 15 years.
Then the Xing Jia the Shunla Wang say yo mare Koran the Zhong Si Di Nang ne da mi zhou jian de zo tun ne then Xing Cha Kang Bei Gi Xing Cha So Ma Lo Ba Xing Dong Ge Bo Dong Xing Dong Pe Ma Do Ba De Zo Cha Dang Mi Xing Le Mi Gi Bi Xing Le Ba Zhe then Xing Dong Yao Bu Xing Cha So Lo Ba De Zo Kang Ba So Ye Gi Xing Cha Le Zhe then the Jia de Koran Zhong Si Di Nang ne mi zhou jian de zo tun ne zhe ge le then the le Xing Dab Ren de Ma Ge Ji Dab Do To Wa Ji Shu De Ma Ge Ji 디 슝게 네 다포레 미당네 되네 디속이 잡기도 신 촉진 토브디 신동강을 도와주시거든 디 슝게 되기도.
So again, this permission is actually granted by not by government, by the village chieftain, the chief of the village, because the government has already given the responsibility and also rights to the whole villager. So they have their own, which we can call chief or chieftain of the villager. So you get the permission from that people. And then when the permission is finalized, then you get a mark from government, which tree you can cut down, and they make a mark on it. That's from government. And then again, those old trees, which you cannot be used for building a house, then they use for the wood for fire. And then those trees who are still strong enough and good enough to make house, that they use that for house.
Then Xingdong Gebo Dang Pen Madoba de Chadang Pa Meixing Le Dab Tar de Xingdong Sarva Kia La Bay Pendok Chimo Xingdong Sarva de Bay Yawa Keto.
And actually, when you cut down all these old trees, which is not in very good shape, then it helps the new tree grow faster and then in a better way.
Then the Marando Deba Xingdong Gebo Dang Da Kambo Mangbo Di Dende de Xingdong Sarva Kia La Bay Negi Bazar, Xingdong Sarva Shida Ki Yawa Keto Meno, the Xingdong Gebo Dang Kambo de Dende.
It seems to me here, around here, we still have many old trees. Maybe that makes some difficulties for the new tree to grow. That's why it doesn't seem that new trees are growing very well around here.
And then Xingdong Jigo Mayan also say Sacha de la Yobege, Sokchak Semjen de Zulayang Dawajagere, then the Korea Sonjo de Sado Xing Xiangba Mayan Ba, so the Semjen La, then Sokchak the Jewa de Gachim.
And not only the trees, they also take very good care of the animals, let's say the domestic animals that are around them. So I think it is very important not only the trees or the earth, but also we should pay attention to the animals.
The Semjen Sokja Jena Korea Pendok Chembo Yongi or Yongia de Carrere Zena Jul Dong, Belva Dong, Nyajong Lasoba, de Zo Chadong, Luigi Chagi, Luri, then the notion, then Shawa Dom, Double Ridoki, Semjen Tisu Chadong, then Yula Shidagi, Disugi, Nor Java Chagi, Konzogi, Daudo, they make it Nor Chagi.
Okay, now I'm going to speak a little bit from the Buddhist point of view, how we believe. Now, the reason why I say if you take care of the animals very well, that will also help the outer environment a lot, is because from the Buddhist point of view, all these like snakes or frogs are believed to be the wealth of what we call naga. I don't know how to translate naga. Some people say serpent, or serpent is just a snake, right? So anyway, naga is a Sanskrit word. If you have some idea of the Buddhist point of view, then you know what we are talking about. And also, as other religions, Buddhists also believe there are so many local deities around us, such as we say, like the god of tree, god of water, and so forth. And then again, all these wild animals, such as deers or bears, whatever you have, we say these are the wealth of the local deities. Therefore, if we take very good care of them, then all these Nagas and local deities will be very happy. And again, from the Buddhist point of view, we believe that all these rainfalls are caused by Nagas. Therefore, if we harm their wealth, which are like snake or frog, and that are, then of course it will not make happy them too, and they don't send the rain on time. They send the rain on the wrong time. Let's say, when we don't need, and they send a lot. When we need, they don't send like that. For example, if somebody kills one of your domestic animals that belong to you, then you become naturally not very happy with that person, right? Like that. So if you harm their wealth, again same, the deers or antelopes or whatever, all these wild animals we believe to be the wealth or property of local deities. So if we harm them, then these local deities will be not very happy with us.
Yula shida halu zen du lazobege ditola pen dakbayina koryo songjubdang ditola ne jalbayina koryo songjula neba dene chagi yobare di chagi yobe to da kane songjana sangje chomdendegi dene de gangzo
So we have so many different categories of what we call the local deities, which are, most of them just use, all the translators, they use Tibetan words, Zen, like that, Yalbo, whatever you call, because maybe there's no such word in English. So Naga, even we say Naga is not English word, right? Naga, or Deva, local Deva, or Devi, whatever. But anyway, you know what we are talking about. There are many different classification of these local deities. Anyway, they are all same. And also, there is a quotation from Buddha when he taught about this kind of thing, and I'm going to quote that here.
Kadeji Baba Yinayanda. Chulung de Babala dene medok tebu menden naxel keje ba. Chulung de Babala dene du medok shar du tebu min du dene gangzo lodok tebu min bar chege yore. Dene Madre nebe luong ludak tene de gangla tene jungwe na madre de da chen de ming de madre lu vege choji bo ten yo de yin yang lu gangzo cho tamje la jamzo tamje la lu yo bare de chogi dene dene luong dene luong ludak de tulak de dene Zambaling the Chulung Dudu Chulung Babdang Mebab 뒤도서 메도게 당메게 뒤도서 제부민다 미민 차상디 되는 루이 제보들라 럭레바레 콘도 가나 메도게 들라 메도 제부게 들라 제부 뒤도 이다다다다 여부 민지 여바당 콘도 마가나 되네 메도 샤리아 메도 감 샤바 탐지야 감네 제부미야 메바 되네 차게요레 디인당 되네 강도 하루 라속발라 네바제나 디나싱기 네바용게레 콘돌라 펜나나 데네 제부메도 추탐제 디나신 콘도게 나랑돌라 민비기 자와치기요레 펜도게요레.
And the quotation Buddha taught in a sutra called concise or condensed sutra or short sutra, just easy. Do Duba interpreted. Do means sutra and Duba is concise or condensed or short. In this sutra, he says, all rivers that are flowing in this world, flowers with fruit, medicinal herbs and trees, depend on and are glorious or masteries of Naga King Anawaptapta, his name, Sanskrit name, Madhuraba in Tibetan say, Anawatapta, who inhabits Lake Manasarovar. This is also name of a lake. So what Buddha said here is, even he mentioned only one name of the only one lake, but in every lake actually, every lake has what we call the Naga. And then this is one of the most well-known king of the Naga king, Anawatapta. So Buddha says all the rivers or waters on the world, in our earth, and all the trees, whether they ripen on time or not, and all the medicinal herbs, and then fruit, everything depends on these Nagas. If they are happy with us, if they are happy with the human and all other sentient beings, because according to, as we says, according to our belief, they are all under their control. So if they are happy, then they will make them grow on time, and they will make the rain fall on time, and they will stop where we don't need. When it is harming, if it rains, then they stop, and so forth. That's why, then how it shows how important for us to be friendly with these Nagas, local deities, and to be good with them, so they will be good with us, and they will keep the environment well for us.
Tene dela tene tengsang tene namshe tsatula tene gangri tamje shujo goyore gangri shusa na chutongya rage mare tene ngarang da mangboji shegeyore tene ina ngarang sangje jomden dege jeso dawne tene chu tamje yoda me lula ragleba mada gangle ragleba se masonzang tene nga di semte me.
So now everyone is very worried and concerned about global warming, and everyone says that all the great snow mountains are melting, and we are going to be soon out of water and so forth. But to be honestly speaking, as a Buddhist follower, for me, all the water depends on the king of the Nagas. So as long as we are good with them, we keep good relation with them, and we keep practicing well, then I don't worry too much.
Tene da semje yoba cheshe de gare ti shena de kadang nye chara tene gangso dawa chingni jingen la druk la tene cheken boge kalop chinang de ba chik ngarang vichar nang la tega de ra song tene de ngarang pe iche da gangso ngune re tambegi iche tumomayan baje kesong dene di darin chenong so che to ya de tumna samdare wa de.
And again, maybe you might not know, there is something called J Khenpo in my country, in Bhutan. And J Khenpo is the highest ranking Lama from the Dharmic point of view. And from the political point of view, the king is the highest ranking person. So they are quite some kind of equal. One is from the political point of view, and one is from the Dharmic point of view. So recently, I received advice that was given by J. Khenpo in Bhutan. I received from someone, and then I thought that was very good, and then I'm going to share with that all of you today. I thought it's good to share, and that advice actually makes me little worries.
Then me to carete na moda mangbore, tela dene dua mangbore, tela dene dua la dene duk mangbo yongge yore, dene langba gangso dukjin mangbo yongge yore, dene gangso me mangbo jik, dila semde chegi yore, chegi made sum.
So J. Khenpo said, now many people said that we have so many vehicles, automobiles, and which produce lots of smoke, and smoke produce lots of it says poisons, duk in Tibetan, and then people are very much concerned about that.
Yang kongi daga na jena dizu duk chimo mare duk chong re duk cheshe de gare na me gi khan thonbe langba di khalang di da duk cheshe chage yore sumudam.
But J. Khenpo said, even many people concerned about that, thinking this is a poison. But in my own opinion, what I think that is not a great poison or big poison. The bigger poison comes out of the people's mouth with their breath.
Then they can definitely chage na chitang ado khalge langba thamje jang buin sene tang ado TV na tha yin chigi khal langba phona TV na tha gwe gere ti budi gwe gere sene shege yoro tene khal langba thamje bure ti langba phona na tha gwe gere tene kanso ta ngaranzo MG de ye de shege yoro tene MG.
And then one of the reasons why he said that is, as we all know, that when somebody has some contagious disease, then it will transmit other people through your breath. For example, if you have TB, then if somebody is close enough to you, and if he gets your breath, then it will transmit him, and so forth. And that is taught by scientists and also by physicians.
Tene de dong chigwa chichang re tene mi khalang di ta gane sen ne gere na mi di la gang so xian la ne ba dong chewi gi samba chi ke na ne ba dong chewa che gi samba chi ke na di khalang di do dong ta di ne sem samba dong thumbi gi buji khalang na dong chala do ge yore di do de dene di samsul ne ba dong chewi gi sem ga de ke ba di na shin ta xian la yang dene di gang so di khalang la dene khalang gi bu la dene ne ba dong chewi gi sem de gui do ge yore sum.
So J. Khenpo said that when we're breathing out with our breath, if you have some negative thought in your mind, then it will carry out with our breath, the negative thought, in a form of bacteria. And then whoever is touched by this breath will have this effect. For example, you have a harmful thought pushed to someone, and your breath will carry out that thought, and then it will be really harmful for others.
강도 칸에 다 상제 되긴 된바 말에 최 되긴 된바 말에 때문에 상제는 최로 꿀바담나 그 칸에 디템바 나신게 나올라 삼슬지요 녜바지요레 디 삼슬기 부디 칼랑당 차라 텐도데 되네 강도 근적숨나 꿀바다베게 남인 디 강도 다 유라시달라게 나야 그 포도게 요래 대나신 대네 샘진 신달라 이나야 내도게 요래 좀.
And he said further that if you have wrong view in your mind, which means you don't believe in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and you don't believe in karma and so forth, if you have this kind of wrong view, then when you breathe out, and also you might say through your speech, saying you don't believe Buddha, he's not correct or something like that, then of course from the Buddhist point of view, that carries lots of negativities. Therefore, and then if this kind of breath is touched to any local deities, and they also get injured with this wrong view breath, that's called the breath of wrong view. And then that's how it can harm them, and then it become very very harmful.
The Kalang de Drode, then they something in Begi Bull, Kalang Dang Chala, the Bull, the Digi Kanzo, Semje Mongola, Nugi over it, Square to go over it.
So it is again same if you criticize your teacher, your guru, or what we call the ordained Sangha, then of course from the Buddhist point of view again, it carries lots of negative energy, which can be very harmful to others, whoever is touched by your breath.
Then they don't Dana Shogeda, Karma Be Kachinala, Diagram Sung, Jejaba Mijid or Jenam Tarnala Caredo, Tena, Mi Jehashuge Mambo, Jeratonga Mambo Yong, Dean on it. Mi Dijin disorder, Samangema disorder, Tilla Lebanon, then Gula, Yungshi Pogatus, Nasa Yongidus. Then Tula, Semlaya, Devameva Yongidus. Then mi Devajin, Mugajin, Jam Yingji, you can do Tilla, Nasa Yunayang, the Nasa de Pa, Yedo, the Jumdo, Sembakibu Chagi to the Sungdo, the Chibarido, the Jotang. That the gender the Kalang de Apog, then Nasa Pog Chagi or the Dino Shinigi over the.
So exactly same as J. Champo taught few days ago, this morning also, His Holiness the 17th Karmapa taught something exactly the same thing, that he said, the 8th Karmapa Mekyu Dorje have said in his autobiography that when those people who have lots of negativities and the negative thought came to see him, he doesn't feel actually physically not very well. And then when those people who have lots of positive thought have come to see him, then that naturally increase his well-being of physical. And so these are exactly the same thing, I guess.
Then the Kalang Tevigida, Marando Chegi Tone, then Gando, Koryosunjo Kandejigore, then Digola Chevare, Ta Chegi Gone, Tanda Di, then Gando, Ta Dinashin, Jamba Dang Ningji, Jamba Gom, Ningji Gom, Soba Gom, then Chanchugi Sem Gomba Ina, Yang Dedang Timbigi Budi. Kalang ne turn to go turn rone sula pogba in Gaba Chaba in Ga never in Dela, Dene Shiwadang, Dewadang, Kibu Yongi Yobarado. Dene Jam Ning Janjugi Sim de Gom Tubna, Dene Ganzo, Koreo Sunjubla Pemba Made, Dene Ganzo. Marando Chima, Che Didam Chima, Pemba, Mother Korea Sunjavalayan, Pendo Chimba.
So as I was requested by David to speak a little bit about environment from the dharmic point of view, and these are what they are actually. If you can meditate on loving kindness, compassion, patience, and bodhicitta, then whenever you breathe out, the bacteria of your compassion, loving kindness, and bodhicitta will go out, and whoever receives them will get the benefit. So it's very important for us to practice bodhicitta well.
대인의 응원도다 록다당 꿀대기 셈 네바당 체외기 셈 셰당당 공주기 셈 디수 대내 강용용 직당 강방 톱톱직 방 대내 잠당 닝제 대바당 미규 대내 최당 레줌들의 이치기 셈 디수 강톱톱직 대내 강도 검톱나 대내 코리아 송집 기능의 촉도 줄바디 차게 하다.
So, from the dharmic point of view, the best method of protecting environment is to tame our own mind and try to decrease all those negative thoughts, which we say negative, such as the thought of wrong view or criticism. We don't want to criticize anyone, and we don't also have any thought of harming others, and so forth. And we don't have to want to have any anger or hatred and so forth, revenge. And then we should increase our all positive thought, which are we say the thought of renunciation, thought of compassion, love, and faith, devotion, and so forth. If we can practice in that way, then I think from the dharmic point of view, that will be the best method of protecting environment.
대내들이 저런 남아 청마델라 배 대내가랑이 된데 인라멜라지 시에 고고서발에 배가버중 대내 청매대낭신앙으로 나시는 되다.
So I am very happy, and I would like to thank you for coming, all of you here, and also thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak a little bit, even though I don't know much. And I hope it will be somehow little beneficial for all of us. And please try to practice in that way.
We have a few questions we can ask because we have a 20-minute time. Any question you can ask?
Khenpo, thank you so much. Could you say a little bit more about, one of the striking parts about your talk was the idea that if we could make the Nagas happy, that would be very good for the environment. Can you hear now? Can you, so what I was asking was, that one of the important parts of Khenpo's talk was that we need to make the Nagas happy. If we could make the Nagas happy, we can help the environment. So could Khenpo speak a little bit about maybe the practices that are done in the Tibetan tradition, just some guidelines, and how we might ourselves become involved with those practices?
지금 줄동 배정돼도 루랑 지기 오래가거든. 대인데 디솔라 내봐던 세와 맞지. 대내 루라 쳐봐봐야 다 맞나 지나라 다요로 루테비에도 매 양델라 루테동 루독색인데 니요 바래. 대내 여보 마다는 루독 딜라케나 쳐봐보나 펜도요 말해. 갑레 펜동 매봐마데 내봐야 용해요. 대내 데 루테 뚜네 대내 쳐봐보나 대내 다 쳐봐보던데 torma당야 당내 쳐봐보야래 상당내 쳐봐보야요래 대내 데나제 직진바데도 강도 오마 추나라 오마룩 대내 디 예당 차라 대내 대내세네 코란도 다 되서더라 코란도 겐 바지 시월쇼 삼베 된도버죠 세도고 된데 제네 코란도 직진바데도 랑 된데 쳐야야 이어버려.
So,
yeah. Yeah, the-
So first of all, if you want to practice in a genuine way, then you have to check the calendar because there are particular time or day on which you should practice. And then there's some particular day when you should not practice because it's something called Ludo, which means the Naga reverse. Literally, these days are not the day on which we practice Naga. If we do practice on those days, it will not be beneficial for anyone. Sometime, unfortunately, it will be harmful also. Therefore, we must check according to the Buddhist astrological lunar calendar. Then when it mentioned Lutep, which means Naga day, and we should choose those days to practice. And then it will be very effective, very beneficial for them and for us also. And usually we regarded all this kind of snake and frog that lives in the lake or pond are regarded as a Naga or wealth of Naga, whatever it says. And the ritual is that different way of ritual. Sometimes we call sang. Sang literally means purification or cleansing. But the way how we do it is we make lots of smoke with different substances that has been blessed by the mantras. And then we do the ritual by making smoke with those kind of special substances. And this is one way. And then another way is we also do something called lutor, means we give them water offering with some, again, I have always problem with translation. You know, you have something called popcorn, right? Popcorn. So maybe you can call the pop barley or something like that. Barley, which is roasted, and then a little bit like a popcorn, or barley or rice also. So you can mix with that, and of course there's some special samadhi meditation you can do, and the mudra, which your hand gesture, and of course the mantra. With this, then this become powerful enough to please them. And then some worldly people who doesn't know the ritual, then they just throw some water with this pop barley or pop rice, and then asking what they wish for, just saying in the word, and people also do that way. So these are the method how we do practice, Naga practice. So there are many different versions of Naga, and then it depends on which practice you are asking for. Because there are different versions of practice, and then all different versions of practice have slightly different mantras. So if you really want to practice, then you have to base on one of the sadhana, and then I will tell you the special mantra of that sadhana later.
Yes, brother. Mac.
I hear a lot of mention of rituals that one should perform. But in today's world, and coming from especially my kids, that generation doesn't want to get into rituals, and they say that they just are interested in spirituality, spiritual, not ritual. So does it mean that if someone cannot do rituals or is not willing to do rituals, they cannot follow Buddhism?
초가라 마가나래 초가 아야라 마가나 근데 낭바 성격이 차투게 말했어. 그래서 밀카시 야 최지던 최신적 가와지라 근데 야 초가 아야라 마가니 들려랬어. 근데 초가라 마가 찾나 낭바 차투게 말해 초가라 마가나야 낭바 차투게 그랬어.
다 낭바 차 맞아 근데 초가라라고 레바 말해 초가라 가와다 나가와델라라고 레바 말해 낭바차 메자데 강라라고 레바를 때나 근촉숨디 잡내수티 Then they la Jamne so sung ne Jamre Yamlenjena, then they Namba Chagere. The Chowa Canada, Maganada, Yamne Garejeba inaya, Conjosum de Jamne Sumis, Conjosum la deba ichime, Jamre Yalemena, then Namba Chagi Mari.
It doesn't mean everyone has to love ritual or like to perform ritual. It doesn't depend on ritual whether you become a Buddhist or not. What defines us to be a Buddhist is if we believe and take refuge in Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, then we can be a very good Buddhist practitioner. Even we don't like to perform any ritual, that's still fine. But even you are performing lots of rituals, but still if you don't really trust or have devotion or faith in Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, then you are not Buddhist yet. Therefore, it doesn't depend on the believing in or liking the rituals or not. Of course, even you don't like to perform any ritual, you can still become a Buddhist if you have trust and devotion and faith in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha.
And I check you the then check them also you lash it out the then Koreok Sonju Gechedo Senaya Regarzenata, Mother Chicken Teddy Chedo Yulashida the Gage Motoboje. They and then around the use of Tigage Yulashida, the Serson Sartok again, then Karma Bakun Chutu Big Kamne, the Nechoa, the Sunsha, Rengazo, Konda Sokas, Choa di Yamata Bartengure. Yenayam, that big Lusula de Shipta again, the Korang Netha Potanjik, then Sosoriore. Nga dende jige so nekhangji shidagi nekhangji so na sambe nge mane ta lomang boji nge ne samja dang dene samja dang ne nani shinin karma ba de shu de nge kaba jamna yasare kande shu de then
So for this life, for all of us, it's very important to be good with the local deities, what we call Yulha Shida. Yulha literally means the gods of the village or the place, and Shibda is owner of the ground or something like that, but which means the local deities. So it is very important for us to be harmonious with the local deities. And then we also have a local deities here, which is called Serto. Sasung means the ground protector, golden color of the ground protector, something like that. That's the name of our local deities here in KDD. And we have a ritual that was composed by the previous Karmapa, 16th Karmapa, which we have been practicing every day, which is really good for all of us. But again, we can make it better because in our tradition, there is something called Shibda Sankar. How did we translate? David, you remember that word? I forgot. Okay, maybe Sankar, yeah, house of the local deities or something like that. Kind of a little stupa in the shape of a house. We built like that. Then I thought, and if we have that, then it will make it will please them more, because that means they have a home where they can base their home like that. So I have an idea to make that, because that's very good for all of us. And then when last time when His Holiness the 17th Gyalwang Karmapa was here,
Tene dadi shibda tega de kabaja kore se kande shudu isnabu tene shibda tega de ya ri tela chap kore sungido kanangdo tene de ri tela de ta kabre sansamdi shi yabu jira yawa chema kabre chazang keti digi saja yimbar rabo jira chagdo kabre 양치 기타도 체가디 깨디디 사케기도 체가디 흉사 케기도 세기도 되네 디인도 다이나 강도 배자 첨부되는 거야 말에 총총지그래 된 흉사를 파도나야 펜제를 미터를 나도 직도부직 된데 직도그래 되네 디라 되네 창매 메튼 여바직당 되네 마 ngarantu ta teng dering di nyen sen shue yo bo jong tene changma ngarantu kimse tongke nyedap ge mi re den de ga se nga so te se ji pa shung sa la to na tene di la chou je yo ba je na shu ge.
So when I asked him when he was here, the 17th Gyawankramapa, where should what we call the Shibda Tankara should be built, then he said it should be built on the top of the mountain. And then I'm not very clear about the border of the KTT property and then the government land. So the right top where we want to build is whether belong to KTT or the government. I'm not very clear about that yet. But anyway, any case, this is not going to be a big one, just little one, only a few meters. So even it is on the other land, I hope it still be okay with all the neighboring people here. Since you are all of local people here, most of you are okay. It's good to inform you now that. So I hope that is okay with all of you.
Thank you very much, Kempos, for the precious teaching today. And for many years from Kagyu teachers, I've heard that the external world, the climate crisis that we're experiencing, is the outer manifestation of the negativity within all of us, all of the negative thoughts and defilements. And I would like to ask you, Kempo, in this age of we're in the age of degradation in the Buddhist understanding. Is there hope for us? This is a question of, is there hope for us as a species, as the earth, that we can actually go past this tipping point? Sorry, that's so hard to translate, Kempo.
다 너는 단다 다 tuingmala ngarantu tuingmala da chiro jigdengi guba da ningmanga da ya da mangbo shedi garola dor duna ngarantu nangbe ngone da rewa sabata ko khan yer beser da rewa sabanta ko til yaro ta yi ne da yarantu rewa dira
rewa dida da ji shu ba na ji tarang le ba da ma konjo
Yes, first of all, yes, definitely there's a hope for us to make it better, but we should be able to practice what Buddha taught. He says, if we practice bodhicitta, which means the embodiment of loving kindness and compassion, and you have a wrong, if you have right view through your teacher, and then Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, of course we are talking from the Buddhist point of view, and if you have full trust, devotion, and if you try to decrease all those negative thought and then action, then there is definitely a hope for us to make it better.
Well, last question. Okay, David, do you have anything before we close this section?
So as soon as we're done here, we're going to have lunch, and I want to invite everybody for lunch. And we're hoping to have some topic tables at the lunch, where if people want to talk about different topics, you could kind of organize yourselves. And and then after lunch, we can possibly do a couple of outdoor things. I was hoping to maybe do the what's called kora, which is walking around. We have a path now that goes all the way around the whole KTD, including the new stupas down below. So that's one thing we could be doing outside, or we could be continuing our small group discussions. We definitely want to make this interactive. I want people to get to know each other here, and so please do try and meet people you don't know. And so anyway, so Khenpo Sangye, would you want to do the dedication of merit for the talk today? Oh. Yeah. Oh, thank you.
So David, I would like to,
It's not me, okay, from the senior Khenpo, not from the junior Khenpo. He still want to say at the end,
I would like to ask you and all your friends, be supportive for my project of building that Shibda. Okay? Yes, okay.
Yeah, I just want to make that clear that what Khenpo has been talking about is it's kind of like a stone structure that's really not a house. I probably used the wrong word. It's more like a shrine, and it's going to be up behind KTD. There's, the back, there's where the bears come, right? Then there's that big hill up there. There's a place that's kind of like a top of a ridge. It's not the top of a mountain. But we believe that is on KTD's land. I'm not sure, like if Khenpo's not sure either, but we're going to find a location for it. And we have some pictures of it. It's just basically stones, and actually the stones are already up there. We're not going to be moving a bunch of building materials or doing anything that's really disruptive. The stones, we believe, are actually up there already. So yeah, I definitely accept that, that I want to encourage all of us that can help to make this happen.
First dedication.
Yeah.
Okay, now we are going to close this morning section. Please come back to our sitting meditation. Please allow to sit comfortably and watch and rest your natural state of your breath. By this merit, may all attain omniscience. May it defeat the enemy wrongdoing. From the stormy way of birth, all age, sickness, and death. From the ocean of samsara, may I free all beings. May I free all beings. May I free all beings. Thank you, Tujiche.
Sorry, I want to mention one thing. Without our President Lama Lojo support whole things, that will be not happen as today. So I want to say thanks